Hello and welcome back to another episode. Now today I am deep in the midst of yearning to play Breath of the Wild. I'm waiting for that game quite appropriately with bated breath. And so today I figured I would scratch the itch and play my favourite Zelda game. I'm going to be playing it using the snares, but I am not talking about Zelda A Link to the Past. I am in fact talking about Link's Awakening using the Super Game Boy. Link's Awakening is one of the reasons why I got so excited when my brother-in-law said that I could look after, on long-term loan, his snares, because it came with a Super Game Boy. The first thing I thought in Northern Ireland when I saw it, I went, "Oh, I can play my favourite game, my game on the TV!" So I got very excited. So we're gonna start a new file, Mac. Normally I play as Link in Zelda games, but in every other game I play as Mac. So it's my backup name. Let's start a new file, and here we go. Just magnificent. And I have to say, in many ways, this game, obviously it's my favourite partly because it was the first one that I played, but also I think it's my favourite because of the atmosphere of the game. I don't want to spoil the story, so I'll try not to give too much away, but the game has a dreamlike atmosphere, shall we say, and it has that atmosphere for a very good reason. And so the game feels slightly playful. It does feel mysterious. Most of all, Koholint Island feels like a coherent little self-contained world. As I've said in a previous video, wherever I went with this game in my pocket, well, not really in my pocket, but you know what I mean, in my Game Boy carry bag, I felt as though there was a world waiting for me. And that was one of the things that really drew me initially to Zelda, I guess, but in particular this game, was that sense of being able to explore a world. And obviously that's one of the main selling points of Breath of the Wild, is the length and breadth of the world that we're going to be able to explore there. But I don't think it will take the top spot. I'm pretty sure Link's Awakening will remain my favourite Zelda game. But you know, possibly it may come a close second. Who knows? But I mean, I'll let you in on a secret. This game's world, in some ways, because of I suppose the way that I was playing it, felt more real to me than, dare I say it, the vision of Hyrule portrayed in the Ocarina of Time game. That may sound like a controversial statement, but it's true. It's true in so many ways, because the Ocarina of Time, especially for example Hyrule Field, it feels like essentially a collection of polygons, and the older it's got, the less convincing it's become. And yes, it was a beautiful and amazing achievement, and I still love it. It's certainly in my top 5 Zelda games. But this game, because it couldn't hide behind anything really, it had to sort of serve up little moments that inspired you. You know, it is an 8-bit game basically, and they're already pushing it to make it look like a 16-bit game. And so there are moments all across the island that refer to other computer games. That, for example, the little spike eyes thing that I often call it, or as I call it, on the beach here. That's from Kirby. But they also had to sort of, I suppose, interact with you in some way, in a way which was compelling, which kind of made up for the fact that you were, looking at it on this tiny little screen, using gradiated green dots. It's an achievement, and it's immersive. It is strangely immersive, and if you're not convinced by that statement, I would recommend that you play the game, give it a go, and you'll find yourself living essentially with Link on this little island. It's beautiful, wonderful game. Now. Now, as the game progresses, there are elements which are introduced, including, for example, you can jump in this game, which I was a bit disappointed to find that you couldn't do in as a button press in other Zelda games. For quite a while, I was like, where's the feather? Why can't I jump? So it's got, even there, in that sense, it's a bit advanced for a Zelda game as well. Now here's one of those little moments that I was talking about, where you go into the library, you look at the book shelf, and it says, "This is not a chest." What? You knew that? Oh, okay. Yeah, like it's the, I can't decide if it's the game or if it's the developers essentially breaking the fourth wall there, or maybe it's meant to be talking to Link. Who knows? But when you want to save, just push all the buttons at once. Don't ask me what that means. I'm just a kid. You see. Oh, it's just such a good game. Good game. Oh, there's Bow Wow. Hello. Who's a good boy? Well, I'll come back to you in a bit. Speaking of who's a good boy, got my wonderful dog here with me today. He's just down here having a nice lie down. He's not wanting to be away from me today for some reason. Usually he's quite happy to slob in the living room, but here he is. Quest to wake the dreamer, mysterious woods. Mystery you will find on this uncharted Koholint island. I'm afraid you may find it a trifle difficult to leave the island while the windfish naps. Well, there you go. Sorry, that's the spoiler. Sort of. This is a game about a dreaming creature, a giant dreaming creature, and therefore there are dreamlike elements. Listen to the music. You see what I mean? They made this machine work for its money. Okay. There we go. So yeah, here you go. Here's the first sort of super dreamy, slightly crazy moment. As a raccoon, my nose is very sensitive to stuff like dust and powder. Oh, okay. Now I think I vividly remember the first. Oh. Gonna get lost thanks to me? What? Oh, thank you. The first time I played this, I very vividly remember the raccoon encounter. And again, just feeling a little bit thrown off. Yeah, okay, you could argue that, I mean, essentially none of these creatures here are human, but the fact that you're talking to a raccoon in the woods who's being so cryptic, this is a strange game, and I've always appreciated that. Look at that! Oh, look! So he's chopped the blobs in two. They become two smaller blobs. That's something that we've seen in we see in Wind Waker, for example, and Skyward Sword. Yeah, the connections and the way that actually the games do build on each other also is appreciated, I think. And presumably, Breath of the Wild is going to be something which builds on everything they've ever learned to do with Zelda. I mean, the people are making a big thing about how Breath of the Wild is actually a throwback to the original Zelda concept, sort of freedom from the offset, really, and discovering the game, discovering yourself as you play, this kind of thing. Yes, I do know. Oh, I was going to say I do know what I'm doing. He says, striking an electric wobbly thing. And yeah, so that's something again which I'm really appreciating as a Zelda fan, is the fact that they're not reinventing the wheel too much. I mean, Zelda, the Adventure of Link, Zelda 2, was arguably an attempt to have a different type of game. Oh, hello. Oh, thank you. I also remember that actually, yes, as well as a kid, thinking, yeah, I am a bit stressed. maybe I could do with a bit of a chill. Okay. So yeah, so Zelda 2 was arguably an attempt to go in another direction. Actually, in an interview I recently saw from Game Informer, Guardian Acorn. Yeah, reduced damage for a bit. Thank you. Oh, piece of power. Feel the energy flowing through you. Cool. Yeah, in a recent interview from Game Informer, actually, there was a beware the floors which crack. A heavy person should not stand on them. where Miyamoto actually was talking about how Zelda 2, in that sense, was meant to be essentially an adventure game, and then they say an action game, an action game, whereas the first one was an adventure, and it was very deliberately designed to be like that, to be a game where that's the reason for the change in perspective, and this some of the infamous gameplay changes that lots of people reacted quite badly to. It seems anyway, but I think I'm more a fan of the adventure than the action, as it were. Ooh, there we go. And so I'm immeasurably glad that they returned to this sort of format. But obviously, when I first played this game, I had no idea about any of that. All I knew was that I was on an adventure in my Game Boy. So we have a mushroom. Let's take a look at the mushroom. Does it tell us anything about this? No, it doesn't. Of course, it doesn't. It's Game Boy. Where are we going to take the mushroom? Maybe to the raccoon. But, thank you. Okay. Take this. Voila! The toadstool you picked in the woods. What is it for? You had it over your head. A mellow aroma wafts into your nostrils. Oh, of course, I've got to... Sorry, silly me. Being an idiot. Off we go with the mushroom. We need to turn it into a powder. Of course we do. Mushrooms aren't powders, they just smell nice. That's something else as well, which I'm hoping for from Breath of the Wild, is a return to being a bit more cryptic. Like especially Skyward Sword, but really arguably starting with the N64 and Navi. There was a... There we go. There we go. There was a tendency to sort of to hold your hands a bit too much in the game. Navi would be telling you, obviously infamously, look, listen. And Fi in Skyward Sword was a bit annoying at times. And so I like the fact that actually this game, it has some serious riddle chains, shall we say. At one point you've got a bunch of bananas. You've got to try and figure out who wants bananas, or what can I do with these. And it doesn't tell you. It doesn't really give you any hints. I certainly didn't come across any hints. I didn't need any hints when I was a kid. But that's something which I'm hoping for from Breath of the Wild. And the fact that you don't have a companion character, natively, that is to say outside of obviously importing the Wolf Link amiibo, is quite encouraging. It means you're not going to have someone interfering essentially with your discovery of the game. Okay, so she's given me some magic powder. Off I go. Hello, raccoon. There we go. Watch this. Like a pinball. I also love that. There you go. I love that this guy here loves mushrooms and looks pretty much like Mario. Again, it's another little Easter egg which I did understand as a kid, and I think again it's another reason why I think that the game developers, for this one, are geniuses. Is that they trusted us to get the jokes, to get the references, to solve the riddles, to just live in on this island. Take the key and go to Tail Cave. Okay. Obviously, there is some direction in the form of an owl, but you need something. But you know what I mean? The fact that you do get just sort of random items that start off a chain of events, and the best Zelda games still have that. So, for example, Majora's Mask has some wonderful chained sequential item quests. Oh, okay, off we go. Sorry, Bow Wow. Down we go. The boy's playing. So yes, you can imagine little me in the back of the car fighting the sun glare, as I am today. Actually, I had to close the curtains. It's a bit too bright for my liking. With this annoying music, annoying my mum, especially when she's driving. Yeah, there we go. Level 1, Tail Cave. Something else that I think, I mean, because some people, I've heard criticisms of Zelda games, especially, for example, the more simple ones, such as this one, or simple on the surface at least, that in that sense, progression through a dungeon is too easy. That there's, you know, that you don't have to earn that much. But I don't think that's the case. Yeah, for example, in other games, it would be they wouldn't necessarily do that Metroidvania thing. You know, you may well be able to get lost. But actually, I quite like the fact that the dungeons in this game, it was a little bit hard to get lost. I mean, with the later on, there's a tower dungeon where you can definitely get lost. But essentially, yes, it feels like you're going through, you're doing things in sequence. It makes sense, and it feels, frankly, as though the game's sort of teaching you how it plays. I think I can forgive it that in that sense. It's a tutorial. It's an early tutorial. Maybe that's the way to think about it. So yeah, some people criticise some of the simpler dungeon designs in the Game Boy Zelda, but I don't mind. It also means you can sort of speed run them a little bit. Ah, no! Need to match up. Diamond. Rubbish. Heart. Oh. How hard can it be, man? Spade. Ah! Did someone say speed run? Oh, come on, this isn't funny. Alright, okay, heart. Can't even see you anymore. Okay. Heart, diamond. Club. 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 There we go. Finally! There's something else as well, which is quite good in this game, is the stone slabs. These actually give you sort of in-dungeon sort of hints and tips. Turn aside the spined ones with a shield, which is quite nice. So, yeah, okay, you do get hints and tips, but it's not the same as the hand holding that you got in the form of especially Fee. Fee was so annoying. Fi. Thank you. Oh! Okay. Now I notice lots of holes. Lots of holes in this dungeon. I wonder what the item might be. What the dungeon treasure might be. Okay. Oh, bugger off. So they're the spined ones. Get out our shield and whack 'em. Whack 'em all. Oh, rats. That was just cheap. That's what that was. Okay. No, actually it wasn't cheap. No, that was my own fault. I was pointing in the wrong direction. There are also some elements of this game which I wish they could have realised in 3D. For example, there we go. For example, some of the monsters a bit later on were quite interesting, certainly. Ooh, okay. Then again, I mean, there were some other things which I never would have necessarily imagined in 3D, like for example those blobs. You know, they work quite well. So perhaps they tried with others and it just didn't quite work. Go away. Down the steps. Nice little Zelda 2 / Mario little Easter egg here. There you go. And, oh no. Jump on the Goomba. Come on, jump on the Goomba. Yes. And this is nowhere else in the game, as far as I remember. I'm pretty sure this is the only place where you get this side-scrolling view. It's a magnificent, such a creative game. Oh, there's a heart. Rats. What is this? Amateur hour? The rocks fella. That's right. Your body is a lot lighter. So. Ah! Okay. At least I could get some hearts there. Here we go. That's how we roll. Well, that's how we jump and roll. Yeah. Can't get me now. Oh, right. Maybe you can get me. Oh, yes. Something which I did actually do. I remembered the first time I came in this dungeon. The first time I ever came in was that cracked wall. And I did come back and open it up. I won't spoil what's behind it though, because it is linked with a broader quest in the game, just in case you want to experience it for yourself. Okay, through we go. Hello. Ah, bugger off. See, I'm rusty. Normally I can kill this guy without letting him get to his sticky for a second time. There we go. Yeah. So we've got the warp spot now. So if we go back to the beginning of the temple, we can warp to that spot. So again, we have a lovely side-scrolling area. Which does serve a purpose. I just wanted to show you it first of all. Now then, I need to get me a key to open that door. Rats! What is this? What are you doing? Says younger me. Stop being so lame. You're embarrassing me. Frankly, younger me, I embarrassed you beyond belief a long time ago. We're way beyond embarrassment now. Oh, come on. Come on. Are we way beyond embarrassment? I don't know. Okay, come on, back in. Thank you. Yeah, tail cave, we know. Oh, I think I just snorted. Yeah, actually, in the second, I think, dungeon, there's a really great riddle where it's basically talking about the monster names. And what's cool about it is that it tells you how to defeat and in what order certain monsters. But you have to sort of figure out what the monsters are called. I think it says, you know, first is it Stelphos, then so and so, then blah blah, in order to, you know, to get to proceed. As far as I remember, there was no way of learning the monster names. So again, you just had to sort of figure it out, you know. It's that kind of gameplay that yeah, I'm yearning for, as it were. No, bugger off, you stupid fireballs. In Breath of the Wild, definitely. You think I was a total noob. Right. There we go. Here's the boss. Right. There we go. Now, if you fell off the side, if he bumps you off the side, you end up in that side-scrolling section I showed you just before. In fact, shall we go down there? Ah. There you go. I showed you it because I wasn't sure if I'd fall down. And I didn't. Thank you. No, to be honest, I totally thought I was going to die on that boss with half a heart left. Okay, and here we go, the first treasure. Or end boss, end dungeon treasure. The full moon cello. Oh, that path opens in the blooms. Shall we? Yeah, we've got some time. Shall we go and open the path in the swamp? Let's go and do that. Oh, ow. Yep. Didn't believe we were real. Okay. This just starts. I remember. This is exactly how I used to feel playing this game. But let's go to the swamp, and then this owl goes. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, whatever. Get out of my way. God, I love this game. Okay, right. Yep. See, now I can jump. I can jump whenever I want. I can press the button and jump. There we go. Look, jump. Look at me jumping. Yeah. Oh no, what's up, boys? Moblins came into the village. A whole gang. Bow Wow's house. Ah, okay. Come on, let me through. Yes, it might be. Okay. Might be faster to find out for myself. Off we go. And you get this sort of relaxed music. The dog was gone. Okay. Now this is really cool actually. If you go into the kennel. Makeup, jewels, dresses. I want it all. Sigh. And some new accessories would be nice. Something to bear in mind, you know, for one of those extended quests. Oh, what's up? Hi, it's terrible. My Bow Wow was dognapped by my mama moblins. Ah, please, someone help my poor Bow Wow. Okay, I can do that. Sure. Let's see. Oh, I know. See if we can put my new jumping skill to the test, shall we? Oh, so I suppose at this point in proceedings, it's worthwhile just, you know, I mentioned this at the beginning, but it's worthwhile just sort of revisiting. How are you guys feeling about Breath of the Wild? Are you looking forward to it? I've had a few interesting comments from, well, actually I've had lots of lovely comments, but a couple of interesting comments from folk who I don't seem to understand that I don't have the cash to buy a Switch. Otherwise I would be buying a Switch. So the only reason why I'm playing Breath of the Wild on the Wii U is just because I don't have a Switch. Also, actually, to be honest, it's a really good opportunity to oh, hello. A good opportunity to I suppose dive into the best of the Wii U library. That's certainly what I found. Or certainly what I'm finding at the moment. Sorry, it's neither wind nor fish. Okay. For example, the you know the experience of playing Mario Kart 8 has been very lots of fun, and there are other games which I was intrigued by. You know, for example, Zombie U, which I can go back and read read years worth of reviews on now, and I can hopefully avoid the dross until I have the money to buy a Switch. So it's been tactical in that sense, tactical thinking, and I really don't regret it at all. Okay, come on. Ah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, my cannon slightly overheated there. Back to the boss. Ah, come on. Okay, get close to the wall. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Oh, that's it. So yes, like I said, I'd love to hear your sort of Breath of the Wild prep stories. Yeah, what are you doing to pass the time, stay sane? You know, come on. There we go. Because yeah, this is the my wife was saying the other day. This is the only time since our wedding that I've actually put a countdown on my phone, and it's true. I am a bit excited. Well, more than a bit excited. Anyway, so we have the dog. Come on, Bow Wow, off we go. And we could take him back to his owner. But I am just going to fall down a hole. Oh, come on. I'm going to go straight to the swamp instead. Because she basically says, you know, you can look after him for a bit. Also, he's really useful for eating enemies, as you've just seen. So anyway, over we go. Jump the hole. Presumably I'm sort of dragging the dog across these holes when I jump across them. And watch this, watch this. Oh, well there you go. Watch that, yep. Feel the energy flowing through you. Thanks, Bow Wow. But yeah, anyway, so to get into the second dungeon, there we go. Good boy. Oh, let's go this way. Oh, good boy. Oh, didn't realise he ate the big ones. Oh, well, I did realise that, but I forgot. Let's open that treasure chest. There we go. Come on. And come on, you're not full up now. Yeah. And that's how you get into the second dungeon. Like so. Bottle Grotto. Let's leave it there though, shall we? This is quite simply my favourite Zelda game. And if you haven't played it yet, you really need to give it a go. It's a surreal and fun journey into the possibilities of the universe, I suppose, of Link and Zelda. For me, it's the perfect way to pass the time, building up to Breath of the Wild. I've already, recently completed Skyward Sword. I'm playing through A Link Between Worlds at the moment, and this is like, it's like having my cake and eating it. This is always such a joy to return to, and you need this joy in your life. So give it a go. I strongly recommend it. Anyway, the dog on the screen is being fed. The dog here could probably do with some attention and food. As ever, guys, until next time, do take care. Bye bye.